How do they do it? Why do they do it? Riding and crashing and riding and winning and always faster and faster and faster.
Well, welcome back everybody to With Antone MotoGP 2025. And you could be saying that Jorge Martin has been having a lot of bad luck. So today I want to talk about one of the old classic topics, the curse of the number one. Before I start, why is Rivola saying Martin were ready to win after his company published a statement, there's no problems whatsoever? Anyway, so what is this with number one, and why is it impossible for people that run the number one plate to defend their title? You know, since 1988, when Mick Doohan famously defended his title, there's only been one successful defence. Greville in 2000, he failed. Kenny Roberts Jr., champion in 2000. In 2001, he ran the number one, he did not win the title. And what about Nicky Hayden, 69? In 2007, he ran the number one plate famously. I remember those scenes when he won at Laguna Seca on his way to the World Championship, and he popped his dad on the back of the bike and they did a lap around the circuit, you know, flat track style, very reminiscent of the Indy 1 mile race. Look, I highly recommend getting to that if you get the chance. It's an amazing event. And of course, what about Casey Stoner? 2008, he ran the number one plate on the Ducati 800cc. He failed to defend it. And he did it again in 2012. The number one plate failed to defend after he won for Honda, the MotoGP world title. And of course, Jorge Martin is trying to run number one. I think the last one was Lorenzo in 2016. He failed to do it. So what is this curse of the number one? And is it more than just, take a look at what's gone wrong with Jorge Martin this year. We've talked about the crashes, we've talked about the bad management, but it really seems like something else is maybe really affecting what he's doing. You know, he chose to ride the number one plate. He didn't want to ride his old number, but he chose to do that. And really, there's a couple of things I want to say about that. When you ride the number one plate on your bike, you're giving up your rider identification. You're not 46 Rossi, you're not 93 Marquez. If you run the number one, you're running that number one for the brand. So Bagnaia obviously famously ran the number one, and he did defend the title in 2023. He's back to 63 now. So you're doing it for the brand. Now, I think Aprilia management, as you know, I haven't got a high opinion, but I think they've missed a trick. They had the number one bike. I was actually looking back to the start of the season and I watched the infamous now launch in Thailand. And they didn't even have the Ducati, had their bikes all lined up there, but Aprilia didn't even have the Aprilia bike with the number one on the presentation stage. So 25 seasons before Bagnaia was able to defend. And you know, only 9 riders, you talk about defending a title, only been defended 9 times. Marquez, Rossi and Bagnaia, they're the only 2 that have done that. So yeah, there's certainly something to think about. Ride height devices, I want to talk about them and whether or not they're dangerous and what we should do about it. Now, Quartararo was famously way out in front up to 5 seconds. He had a failure of his ride height device. They are saying that actually Alex Marquez, when he crashed in race 1, was braking, you know, hard to release the front end. Now, there's been a number of different accidents across the whole history. My question today is, should the ride height devices be banned? Now, the Grand Prix Commission, that's the MSMA, the manufacturers group, the FIM and Dorna can make any change to the rules if they deem something to be unsafe. So what do you think? Are the ride heights unsafe? We don't see ride height devices on street bikes. We don't have them anywhere else but on the Grand Prix grid. We remember ground effects famously with the fans on Formula One way back, they got banned. So what should they be doing? Should they be making a change? And one last thing, the rumour, big rumour today is that Toprak is, even at the time of recording, apparently about to sign a contract with Pramac Yamaha. So that will mean that the current world superbike champion, I don't know if he'll defend this year, it might be another case of the number one not defending, is coming across. And it looks like young Acosta is pretty well getting to the end of his time. Anyway, what do you think about what I'm talking about? Is there a curse on the number one plate for the world champions to defend? If there's nothing to talk about, why is it ready to win? What's Rivola doing? What about ride height devices? Should they be banned? You drop your thoughts down in the comments, and I'd love to also hear what you think Toprak will do when he hits the MotoGP grid, maybe as early as next year. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel if you think you're enjoying it, and we'll chat again real soon. Okay, bye for now.